Hello, my name is Wakasa, and today we will be completing all my thoughts on T4T, Addams Family, Morticia, and Gomez. So the only reason why I cut myself short is because I know that trans bodies are a hot button issue, and I wanted to be respectful, and also because I don't know the details on how their surgeries and how that plays into their childbirth would play in, how the timeline of that, because I am down for Mpreg Gomez, but I also know that there are trans women who grieve the fact that they're not capable of birthing children. And I feel like one of the first steps into making that a reality is putting that into our media, because what if you can't even dream it, it won't even be birthed into reality. So I would love to see Morticia be able to be pregnant, because why not? And also it would fit into the canon that maybe the first two kids was born by Gomez's body, and then the second two kids was born out of, oh, there's only three. Then the last child was born through Morticia. But then also that's something that happens with lesbians. Lesbians interchange between who gets pregnant and who births what kid. So they're it could be both. Both is good, but both is always good. But this does also bring up a concept of womb envy, especially since this is very close to the concept of Frankenstein. Like I said, them switching their hearts, them switching their reproductive organs. That is very like Frankenstein, and how Victor Frankenstein was experiencing womb envy. And because he's a man, he didn't really consider the gravity of creating life and what that would mean to become a father, to create, and how you would navigate that. Whereas women, that's always something that we're thinking of. I'm pretty sure everyone has a plan. If I get pregnant and I don't want to get pregnant, what am I going to do? How will I get access to my reproductive rights, or my reproductive health, my healthcare? How will I do that? Women have to consider that. And I think it'd be, I mean, Frankenstein was written by a cis woman, but I don't think she was infertile. But I do think it would be fun to see womb envy from a cis woman. But in this case, I think it would be womb envy from a trans woman. And I do know that, yes, they are socialized as AMAP people. So their experiences and how they see the world is a bit different than cis women. But I do think that intersectionality of being trans and woman does inform them, which is a concept I think I explored, maybe not the best, in my video Golden Child and Scapegoat, how being on a lesser position or a humbled position, or being a minority, not a lot of people experience that experience of being being the scapegoat, right? So you have a different perspective, and they can bring out different nuances and different stories that we could never really think of. Yeah, I don't have womb envy because I have a womb, right? And if I were a man, it'd be different than if I were a trans woman. Yeah. Anyways, I also wanted to get a little bit woo-woo. Oh no, not just yet. I wanted to also bring up how this is definitely Gothic media, and I have a weird history with Gothic media, because I often get very uncomfortable with it, because it is just a bunch of taboos, and they play with it and they make it romantic and they make it really really intimate and really close, because I think that's what intimacy is, just a closeness, and sometimes it is too close for comfort. There was a horror film about how avoidant attachment style, or is it avoidant attachment style or insecure attachment style, where their bodies were merged into each other. I don't like watching horror, but I do think that's a film that I would like to see. But my caption from Instagram is different than my caption on TikTok, because I posted on TikTok first, then I was a little bit insecure. I was just let me know if I'm going too far. And then luckily people were no, I actually want to hear more. So hey, I'm here. And but then I went to Instagram, I was a bit more confident, and I was this would really push the boundaries on what it means to share your body with your significant other, and how your body becomes one through marriage and stuff like that. Honestly, I do see sex as an act of merging your bodies. But then yeah, Gothic media, I think Morticia and Gomez are the only example of a Gothic couple that I have no notes for, because I have seen Gothic media, Interview with a Vampire. And actually, my caption is very close to what Anne Rice talked about vampires, where she was well, vampires transcend our understanding of gender and sex and age. And I'm oh, okay. Claudia's 5. And even if she's not 5 in the brain, Louis her father. Right. right? But then also, this sort of reminds me of like a controversy I got into with Dogman, and I'm always going to bring it up because I really like, okay, and I know that my videos are potentially not like entertaining enough for people to sit through, but like my live that I discussed that show, I was like, yeah, I'm bringing up concepts of Frankenstein and vampires and surgery and transplants and yeah, I feel like you like that's definitely connected. I guess this is a motif that I'm always reflecting on. I do reflect on like the taboo just a bit. I don't know. Oh no, that what I say specifically is like bastardizations of intimacy. I think I find that very interesting, even though it does irk me. But yeah, now I'm ready to be woo-woo. I think in this example, this connects to like Scorpio and the taboo. And I know when we think about Scorpio and the taboo, we're thinking about like drugs and sex. And yes, sex is a form of intimacy. And we're really just talking about like intimacy because this is a married couple. But also Scorpio connects to death and rebirth. And for that reason, I genuinely feel like Scorpio is very close to the concept of transness because when I said like trans people have to consider the gravity of transitioning, when you change your name, you change the way that you dress, you change the way that your body looks, you change your gender, you change so much about yourself, like the concept of a dead name. You are literally dying and rebirthing yourself. Like definitely Scorpio, especially since Halloween. I said this before. I said Halloween is definitely is like it's in Scorpio season, and the fact that Halloween is often used as the holiday where people soft launch their gender, where they just like they do like a little cute like no, I'm just enough as a girl just because like she ate, give it 3 years, you're a girl, right, right. Um, but then also, Scorpio's old ruler is Mars, and this is something that I've also said. I think Mars is definitely the concept of do I want to be you or do I want to fuck you? And the answer is both. It's literally always both. Like my Mars is in Cancer. I'm into tits. On a man, woman does not matter. I'm into tits. But then I also want big tits. Where are my tits? I'm confused. I love titties. I really do. Anyways, and then how like Mars is connected to sexuality. And then traditionally, sex would lead to the making of an offspring. And an offspring is literally a merger of both your bodies genetically. They have 50-50 of each. So again, back to the concept of like, it really does change, like it plays with the concept of what it does it mean to share your body with your significant other when marriage is like two bodies becoming one. Right. Two bodies becoming one. That one is like could be your child. That one could be the unit that is your relationship. I forgot why my sibling brought up Garnet, but Garnet did get brought up and like, yeah, it's like two bodies in one. And its new ruler is Pluto, and Pluto is also connected to like the taboo and the underbelly and the dark side and death, because it rules the underworld and you go there when you die. And then it also does play with taboo because it's his love story with Persephone, which I guess I'm just gonna have to be problematic. That's my favorite Greek. That's my favorite Greek couple. I mean, because like when you actually look at all the couples, they're all problematic. So like, can I have that one? Can that be my favorite? Like, can I be problematic like that? But then also Pluto is connected to wealth, and something that my friend said was just like, yeah, they have all that oil money. Yeah, like they definitely give like Gothic media gives Scorpio all the time, but like also the connections to Mars, the connections to Pluto. And then I also wanted to add the fact that I recently brought up how surgery to me gives very Sagittarius, but then my cousin corrected me and said, no, surgery is actually connected to Pluto. But because Pluto and Sagittarius is a generational placement that a lot of us have, like I think like 20 years worth of people have that placement. I think that's where like I perceive it that way, but it's not exactly that. And we were talking about surgery, the heart transplants, and then the reproductive organ transplants. Wow. I'm realizing all of this is connected for me. And yeah, I'm pretty much done. You should totally follow my YouTube video if you're ever interested on like the things that I cited. Okay, thank you. Bye.